Okay, we're back. Default performance has been restored due to unexpected system failure. Cool. Nice. And because we lost league, it means I won't be able to just start it up from the beginning. G G. Performance grade excellent. Get fucking nonsense out of here. Okay, able to recover a good bit of it, even with system killing itself. Half the buttons in the spectator client still don't work. Oh, and OBS went back to go bit of wrong stream title. No, maintain the stream title, just didn't maintain anything else. What the hell? All right, miraculously, we have not missed anything, as there have been no kills, but a very low NV in mid, as Hop Tech pushed him out. Yeah, across the board, things looking relatively stable. I was expecting some nonsense around this Vayne early. She has that 10 CS lead, forcing a steel caps out of bread. But nothing more beyond that. Everyone has that flash up for this grub fight as Hop Tech. It's going to duel over the banana brush. Dota 2 is here with the subjugate, and so is Envy. Charm is going to be flashed away, but it hits onto Jason. Has the crescent guard for a bit of peel. Schmiedlock is also here to try to turn the play around, but the Hister, his dredge line is not doing enough. Ziggs bomb over the top, and from downtown, Habibi sinks the 3. It's going to be 2 kills over to the side of SRS. Both supports show up for the grub fight, but it is the Habibi Poppy Mega Inferno Bomb making a good difference there, not allowing Dota to his beater to get out. But now it's Jason the Other that may need to find a way out of this one as they're dueling, and the Trundle is winning. The Fear Beyond Death connects, and Brett is able to find the kill. Meanwhile, in bot lane, Evan is able to find a kill of his own. So I'm very glad that they waited until we were back live to start killing everyone again. Glad they got the memo. We've now got 4 kills in the last 2 minutes, and we've got Hoptech looking bot with that Realm Warp. Evan and Hister think better of sticking around, as the Hui Nautilus has built up a fairly solid lead down there in the bot side for themselves, finding the solo kill as well. And even with all that fighting over the grubs, it is the grubs that lead to Jason's demise and give the Urgot some cushion in this lane. As Camper's actually just going to fight him, is going to pop the final hour, but Bread is not deterred. He's going to auto him down, a flash for flash. Camper maybe wanting to brawl a bit too hard off of that TP. Jason is just going to go for the fight because he knows Schmiedlock and Optech are nearby. They lock down the Trundle. Subjugate comes down, but it's not going to turn the fight in his favor. Hister not going to find the dredge line, but Evan is here as well. They force them to split as now Bread is the aggressor in the lane. The ulti does not. Oh no, it did connect. And the ribbons will take out Camper. Now it's more fighting on the bot side. Spiral Despair's hit onto Hoptech. He will not survive through that one. Envy now with the Spirit Rush dancing around the fight. Jason trying to re-engage, and they find another pick. The Xin Zhao is going to try to go off here. And it is just chaos across the rift. But the big winner is Bread. This Vayne is looking a bit toothless now that we've gotten up to level 11 on the Urgot. Now that he's got the points and the abilities he needs. Camper unable to avoid the harpoon. And that, I mean, that fight around Red, I can understand why Jason really wants to go for it. But Rise is not real yet. So, Ari definitely has a lot more influence over those fights. Trundle, no slouch. Way no slouch. So, is a slight fight in their favor around the bot side that can help them secure their second dragon. We do have still a bit of trading down in bot, but Jason now having to hover around Camper, make sure that he can push out his wave. Envy is actually going to go aggressive with the Spirit Rush, doesn't find the Charm, and Hoptech with the Phase Rush is going to be able to get enough distance, but Easy History is here as well, so Jason now needs to be the one that is careful. He's slowed up, dredge lined on down. The Crescent Guard isn't going to do enough to peel away the damage, and now Hoptech was trying to get involved again. They got the Rise out to safety, but they were trying to fight even more. That ends up being their undoing. And Evan is more than happy to freely push in the wave bot. Camper is going to get hit by the Disdain, hit by the Fear Beyond Death. And Death is going to be another tally there. It's Bread with a third kill on his Urgot. He was not deterred by the Vayne pick in the slightest. He bided his time. And now he is quite scary here on the Urgot. He's going to secure that first turret. Very likely. He is a massive source of strength for the side of Untitled right now. First tower does go the way of Bread as Camper was TPing back in, but I don't know how much he wants this fight. He is down 2 levels. Meanwhile, it's fighting on bot side as Camper is now pillared out, and he is going to drop once again. All the AD carry experience is not seemingly paying off for Camper up there. Meanwhile, Habibi and Schmid kind of just getting pressed under the tower, getting walloped by the Hui as they're going to need some help. And Realm Warp is going to try to supply that as Hoptech is down here. Easy Hister is going to have no flash, but they get the kill onto the Leona. Now Evan flashing in. A double kill for the Hui. And Evan and Hister say you can bring all the help you want. It will end the same. Unstoppable for Evan's Hui. And while in game number 1, we had a very close affair that was decided at the final minute. This one feels like the roller coaster is very much in the favor of Untitled. Evan is out to a massive lead. Bread is out to a massive lead. He took 2 towers up in top side, already demolished. Look at the gold. It is almost 3K in the favor of Bread. It is 2K in the favor of Evan. You can have decently powerful Rise, decently powerful Xin Zhao, but not sure how well that is going to translate if they are getting completely poked out and painted across the canvas by Evan. Evan is just going to continue on the warpath here. Schmid is going to be able to peel away a good bit, dodge away on the dredge line. As Envy's getting very low in mid, and he uses the Spirit Rush. I mean, Hoptech didn't have Ghost or Flash, so don't think he would have been able to claw back that distance. But either way, they move in onto the bot side. Schmid's actually going to engage. They did TP Habibi down here, but I mean, there's nothing to do. Dredge line missing, and Evan on 2 items is definitely going to be the main character for this drag fight. And hey, we've even got the Deuterogonists down here as well, with Urgot joining up with his team. And that should be an easy 3rd dragon. There's no chance if Bread and Evan are both in the fight that the Shaitans will come out victorious. So Habibi's going to lob up a last-second shot. Doesn't steal it away. Infernal is secured.
Red team's turret has been destroyed.
And we now get to a point where the poke from the Ziggs is very easily going to get shrugged off, whereas the poke from the Hui is going to stick like glue. And Evan, he's been the player to constantly bring out these mages in the bot side. Everyone kind of just settles for the Ziggs, a little bit of Swain here and there. Evan fully commits, saying, hey, I understand that if I can just play mages, that opens up my team to do a lot of solid things with our composition. We can be very annoying. We play to win the game. We don't play for glory. If people think it's lame that I just press 3 buttons on brand and win the game, that's fine as long as we get the W. To have some respect for Evan in that regard, as Envy is going to have to Spirit Rush out to safety as the Realm Warp came on through. And we've seen in these two games where even when the Shaitans are trying to match the mage with, Ash Seraphine, or with a Ziggs of their own, Evan and Easy Hister are just better in these matchups. They've found leads in both games. This one feels a lot more unscalable for the side of the Shaitans. As Habibi evades a dredge line, they're going to try to hide on Bush here. And Dota 2 is going to face check. Does have Subjugate to try to duel this one out against Jason and has some backup as Evan is going to try to get involved. But so is Schmiedlock on the side. Evan takes a lot of damage from the Mega Inferno Bomb, but he's not under duress just yet. He's able to kite this out with the Locket, and now Spiraling Despair for a re-engage. Schmiedlock is killed off, and Envy wants to go aggressive with the Spirit Rush, has to use it to get out to safety because the damage is maybe getting a bit too much. Yummy is going to get condemned away. And you can see, I mean, the side of the Shaitans, they got their top laner to that fight first, but it didn't really mean too much to fight 5v4. And now here's the flash disdain from Bread. Jason is locked up, gonna try to escape with the Crescent Guard, but there's nowhere to run. Bread is unstoppable. Camper cannot escape the Maw of Despair. As Habibi and Hoptech, the carries are the last ones alive, and they will be the last to fall. As Habibi is going to be walloped by the baseball bat. And Hoptech is going to be hit line and sinker on the dredge line. It is a 5-0 ace if we count the early Schmiedlock kill. And Untitled are just stampeding through this game. Mead throws in a solar flare for a prayer, but God is not with us today. As Bread 6-0 on the Urgot, 6-0 on the Hui for Evan, now on his third item. Really, the only source of possibilities the Shaitans have is that, Evan doesn't have flash for this fight. So maybe we can get Jason in on top of him. We can get Leona in on top of him. They can do something, but Evan should know at this point as the mage bot player that he doesn't need to give that up. He can clear the waves, he can push them in, and just not put himself in too much danger when the enemy team's engage is limited to Leona. And even there, able to force the flash with his associate in Bread. It was a very nice rebound game from Bread as well. Kind of cost his team in the first game by having a kind of silly death in the side lane when there was an important dragon fight. Yeah, but this game he has completely taken down Camper in the lane, taken down whoever he sees in the game. Even with the cheeky Vayne counter pick, is not really gone the way Camper envisioned. As Camper is going to get completely destroyed by the artistry of Evan. And now Dredgeline onto Hoptech. He's tanky as a mage, but he is not tanky enough. The Harpoon from down south will help Bread secure the kill. And Habibi is trying his best, but there's an Urgot in on top of him. Jason's there for some peel, but that means they leave Schmiedlock. That means they lose Jason. And Untitled are not going to be deterred by a messy game number 1. They are dominating all the way through game number 2. Another 5-0 ace, and it is going to be game 3 between the Shaitans and Untitled. We're going the distance in our first semifinals bout. Game number 3 is on its way as we get into draft here as Untitled and SRS. Look to see who can get the job done in advance to finals. Untitled, quick to grab up the Syndra. Could go over to Evan, could go over to Envy. Shaitans, meanwhile, grab Jarvan and Misfortune. So definitely some very powerful ultimates on the side of the Shaitans. MF, not a slouch in lane, which is what the Shaitans will likely need against Evan and Hister and their mage duos. If I'm Untitled here, we can look towards something a bit different, you know? We can look towards the Swain as that I guess is flexible, right? Could go to Envy, could go to Evan. Brett is the only one who has played it up in the top side thus far. He's down Wukong. He's down Urgot. He's down Olaf to the bans. So Brett very much staying in his comfort position. All right, brief issues, but we're back. As Silas, Pantheon are the last picks to round us out for phase number 1. I am now joined by Prone on the casting desk for this all-important game number 3.
Yeah, I made it just in time. Had to fire up the PC real quick. But it's been a great day for some League of Legends shit. We had Genji BFX this morning, G2KC going on right now, and of course, another top team in the world, Untitled versus Silk Road Shaitans.
Yeah, I mean,
Great
Untitled
match.
has never lost a series to FlyQuest, so they've also never beat FlyQuest, I suppose. So, but either way,
True.
we do have the final bans of the Gnar, Braum, Poppy, and Varus, and it is going to be Nico in the support role for Schmiedlock. Again, a lot of good R buttons for the side of the Shaitans to hit.
Yeah, I like the Nico. I don't think we've seen Schmidlock on Nico yet. Maybe 1 or 2 times snuck in there, but not one of the typical champions that they've opted to go for. Usually just stuck with the tank melee engages. So this more lane powerful, more high execution based support will be interesting to see. But of course, Nico very powerful. And looks like it will be Yorick blind in the top. Bread just wants what he's comfortable on. Doesn't really care about the matchup we saw last time against Russell Grindset, the Nightmare Akali matchup. But even in the end, 0-7 became more useful than him. So I trust this guy in Yorick. He knows what he's doing.
Yeah, does mean that while there is some flexibility for the Swain to go mid, to go bot with the Syndra, I have to imagine it is mid in the hands of Envy. With the Pantheon also now being revealed to be the I guess it could be Swain support and the Pantheon mid if we want to get technical. But the Vi is most certainly going jungle as the Shaitans need to figure out what they want into the Yorick.
Yeah, we've seen a lot recently this theme of blue side flex picks. this is really what is winning draft right now. Inspired from Lion has showed it recently where picking a jungle that can flex top or a top that can flex jungle really gives you a lot of leeway. In this game, it's a Pantheon that can flex anywhere. So this Pantheon bought a lot of space in the draft for Untitled, and they were able to pick up jungle way later in a much more comfortable position and flex this Pantheon potentially support or potentially top or even mid, I guess. I mean, not mid, sorry. Yeah, I guess it's only top. So top and support flex. So we'll see what is more comfortable. Oh wait, no, I guess it is only support. Oh, AD and support actually with the Swain.
Yeah, we do at times see the Syndra being played by Evan. It is possible that it is a Swain bot for Evan, or it could be a Swain mid for Envy, depending. But we do have Volibear in as our final pick for Camper. So not an Akali into the Yorick, but it is going to be a pick that Camper is comfortable on.
Yeah, Camper back on these melees. Nice to see him. That main game was I respect it. I respect it. Tried to go for these range top counter picks. Now we've seen a lot more recently. LPL in specific really values these range top counter picks. Varus top especially has huge priority there as a flex pick, and Aurora, Vayne, some more range top counter picks that have a lot of value later on in the game as well. So those champs pretty annoying to play against, but now back to the standard melee on melee fist fight. That's what I love to see.
Yeah, Volibear can definitely cause some havoc early, being a very strong early laner. But then you feel like as the Yorick maybe gets his boots down there and is able to bide his time, that Red can be a very strong threat in the side lanes and pull SRS away from finding 5-on-5s that it looks like they want to opt into, right? With the explosiveness of the Nico engage, of the Jarvan, with MF ult coming in over the top, that Yorick can pull some of those pieces out and make it not as cohesive of a fight for SRS. Untitled, maybe their key to success.
I'm really curious in this Silas pick. I don't see Silas into Swain or into Syndra often, but I know this is a kind of favorite Silas mid matchup. But there's the ults are also not super great. The Demonic Ascension is good. Grand Skyfall has some value. I have no idea if the Maiden is good at all, but the Vi ult's also not bad in theory. But this Silas is very skill based. I want to say again. If the ults are not super great, then Silas really becomes just a skill champ at that point. How you navigate the fights and how you play your lane. Yes, the lane is favored, but Silas is not known as a lane champ. Is known as a very skirmish heavy champ, right? You need to be able to play these fights well in order to get value out of this champion. So without this Demonic Ascension in the early game, we're gonna have to see how it plays out. I have not really seen up tech on Silas before, so this will be interesting one to see.
Yep, and as we load into the game, we do have confirmation. It is Syndra mid for Envy and Swain bot for Evan. And yeah, Pantheon support, everything else to chalk. So we'll see how much use that Silas can have, because like you said, not a lot of bad ultis, I guess, but definitely not any of the ones that you're licking your chops at, like Alistar, Gnar, Malphite, Ahri. Nothing like that, so Hoptech gonna have to get as much value out of those basic abilities as he can. And we're in for game number
Minions have
3.
spawned.
A place in finals on the line as Untitled, after a dominating game number 2, look to go the distance and make it to that final match.
Everything on the line for both of these teams. On game 3, these are the champions that these teams have selected. Full faith in Evan Banks. Swain, as Schmiedlock face checks that bush, has to take a low trade, but it's not the worst for the support to lose that HP right off the bat. At least better than Habibi Poppy losing that HP.
Yeah, it is also a different array of summoners for the Pantheon Swain, with Pantheon taking the Ignite that we kind of rarely see sports at this point, and the Exhaust for Evan. Make sure he has a bit of staying power as people are like diving in with the Silas, with the Jarvan, with the Wally Bear, and it can also just slow people up while he's looking for skill shots in that demonic bird form as well.
Yeah, this is not something Evan the Bank is really known for. These mages that he usually plays are these high range, zone control mages, right? These are his bread and butter. So this is the first time we're really seeing something. Ooh,
Oh, a nice never move into the Pantheon stun. Schmiedlock is very low to the Ignite, but he will not fade. I can see some strength there with the CC combo.
yeah. Did Easiester not have his Q available? Because I thought that was just a straight up kill.
Yeah, well, now
And
with
it
that
looks like he's gonna
Comet
be
Spear, he's not able to finish the job. Things also getting scrappy in the mid lane as a lot of lanes chugging through their pots. Evan doesn't find the never move. And Habibi trying to trade something back, but is going to respect the Pantheon. Camper getting aggressive in top as well. Gets an early flash. Going to trade it out for his own. And even with the ghouls, Bread is down so low. He's not able to find the kill on the side of Camper.
Oh my god, that Q that healed so much. Even through the Ignite.
Yeah, but Camper's just going to run through. The Sky Splitter shield will help him live and secure first blood for Camper.
Oh my god, the bear counter pick. This Oliver off to
Oh, but a
the
flash
right.
in
Always
as
is
Schmiedlock. The clone cannot soak up the never move since it goes in behind. So Easy Hister almost able to lock down that kill, but Schmied is able to flash away.
Yeah, this is 2 times now where Easy Hister has been going in without the Q available. So I'm pretty sure again it would have been a kill, but that Comet Spear was not off cooldown, which was like which is really awkward. So Schmiedlock able to avoid death twice now.
Evan and Hister will have some good control over this lane. And I think
Oh,
Jason was initially pathing bot, but now he takes that recall and he's heading up towards Bread. But with the Ghoulie Wall, there's not going to be much aggression from Camper to set up his jungler.
yeah, things super scrappy in the early game. Uptech and For You to Envy scrapping it out. Both have no pots down, which means this is a Silas feasting grounds. Any E2 he hits is great news for him.
We will see recalls across the board for now. Camper, also, we kind of neglected to mention, did have the Ignite for that all in at level 1. So table is maybe turning a bit. Bread has been the one to play the aggressive summoners, the one to always try to get these very early advantages in lane and snowball them throughout the game. Camper is going to hope his attempt at taking over the lane goes better than it did in game number 2, as Easiester finds a stun. Habibi and Schmiedlock just being pushed away.
Oh, another never move lands. Evan and Bank farming up some more HP now. But yeah, we can see the early power. This is exactly what you pick Pantheon for, right? He dominates the lane early into almost any kind of
the
champion.
Vision of Empire sets it up beautifully. Evan is on the board here with his Swain.
That was like what, 3 never moves in a row? Relock getting a little bit skill checked. They couldn't dodge the maiden comes out, so now the rest of this lane should be easy pickings for a while. Or bread is very yummy. And with Jason the other showing in the mid lane, this dragon is gonna be stirred off.
Yeah, all that priority should translate, but Jason is on his way. Habibi is going to try to set this one up with the Make It Rain. Now Hoptek's here with the stolen bird form. And that could turn the fight greatly in the favor of the Shaitans, as it's a double to Silas. He's chasing in onto a flashless Envy and finds the last abduct, the last bit of damage. 3 kills plus dragon for the Shaitans.
And this is exactly why we picked the Silas. Silas so dominant in these early fights against any control mage. Control mages don't spike early. They need damage and they need range to work with. And if Hoptek is the first one into the fight, he steals that demonic ascension. He can basically 1v4. That champ has so much in his kit in the early mid stages. And these fights are just gonna keep going in their favor if they check them like this.
Definitely not enough damage to deal with the stolen demonic ascent, especially with Evan not having one of his own. His birds were not ready just yet, so he's working his way up towards that level 6. And that is going to be, of course, very nice for the Shaitans. They haven't had an early game quite go in their favor thus far this series. Game 1, very even back and forth. Game 2, completely spiraled, just kind of based on the lanes. So finding that early fight around Dragon and checking them with that Silas does feel like maybe Untitled should have thought better of that fight. They don't have a lot of the tools they would like, with no Vi ultimate, no Swain ultimate, and Hoptek and Jason punish them appropriately.
Yeah, and there was really just no reason to start off the dragon like that. There was no established priority in the mid lane. There was no established, I guess there was in the bot lane. But really all you're looking at is this J4 Silas, right? There's no established advantage for Dota 2's beater over Jason the other either. Both junglers were level 5 and with no mid priority. Yes, your bot lane is there, but again, the Silas can just sit on Swain, can sit on Pantheon without any consequences.
Is back in bot lane, Habibi and Schmiedlock are stabilizing a bit, but Evan does have the lost chapter, so he'll be fine to stick in this lane as long as he wants and push through those waves. Same can be said for Bread now that he's got the Maiden. I feel like Camper probably going to bide his time in this lane until he can complete the Dusk and Dawn and see if he can do so at a point where Bread does not have his Triforce, then maybe force all-ins here with the Ignite again. As we're going to have Starfall in the bot lane. Habibi doesn't know which way to go around this wall. The Vision of Empire is going to slow him up as Schmiedlock is stunned. Vi is looking for the angle, but Habibi Poppy flashing away.
Yeah, and with the Vi showing in the bot lane, Jason the other will start off the grubs, and this should be uncontested. So, map still in the favor. Yeah, they forced out Habibi Poppy's flash. They didn't even get Schmiedlock's. One flash for these grubs, pretty worth for SRS.
We'll see if the play can be made down there to punish the flashless. Habibi Vi did hold on to the ult. They'll have flash stun on the Pantheon as well. So Habibi will have to be very careful. We have Schmiedlock deploying out to mid, just to make sure that there was no play on Hoptek.
And now we can really start to see the tempo advantage coming into play for these junglers. Jason the other, 2 neutral camps up right with the dragon and grubs secured. And now on top of that, being on like a full level, or he was a couple camps up, so has that XP advantage.
Oh, now the aggression onto Habibi. The Pop Blossom is flashed out from Easy's turn. He's going to try to just do it himself. The pullback from Evan to punish down onto the Misfortune. Now Hoptek getting aggressive in mid. Envy forced to flash, but the bot lane advantage going to Untitled.
Now, great flash by Easy Hister, respecting that Pop Blossom to finish the kill. That's what I like to see. Seeing the play through fully and not just half-assing it. So maybe they might not have been able to kill Habibi Poppy. Probably would have still. but Izzy Hister fully committing to the play. I like
Yeah.
to see that.
Oh, and now the abduct hits, but Hoptek's gonna get visited by the Vi, but he's still able to find the solo. And now Dota 2, I don't think he fancies this fight without his mid laner. Hoptek finds the solo. He's even TPing down bot. He steals the Vi ultimate and is now ready to make a play on the other side. Jason doing the same here as well. Stolen cease and desist for a 5-0 score line for Hoptek. The old man in the mid lane still got it as he and Jason are running the game.
Great play across the map. He sees these opportunities, and it's against Hoptech. You can never overstay your tempo, or else Hoptech will punish you on the either side of the map. This is what this guy is known for. And Evan DeBank and Easy Hister, they felt good after getting that kill on Habibi Poppy, so they pushed in, and they got punished on that TP ward in that bot side bush. Second drag going over now. 2K gold lead stands. SRS in the lead, and all the gold, all the weight of the world is on Hoptech this game.
Yeah, he and Jason already with their item completions. We've seen Envy use the scatter to cancel the abduct basically many a times. Didn't have it on the one that burned his flash. Didn't have it on the one where he got soloed out. So not what Envy wanted to see. You know, in game number 1 on the Jace, had a very similar start where he was getting killed off quite a bit in the mid lane by Hoptech and Jason. Was still useful at times that game, but it did lead to a loss in the end. So definitely expect more out from someone who has been so dominant throughout this tournament. Same can maybe be said for Easiest and Evan, but they're maybe forcing it a bit too hard as Hoptech is trying to roam out on the map, but the Grand Skyfall cannot be canceled. So Easiester makes his way out.
No, forcing that ult out from Easy Hister. Good ult to live. He was most certainly dead as Hoptech was on the roam, but he lives at the cost of that ultimate. So global being saved for now, and this is where Pantheon starts to fall off. Right, he's very dominant in these early levels, but because of this support scaling, yes, he has more income because of the new season. So maybe he can keep up with items for 1 to 2 for at the 1 to 2 item mark. But eventually, this Pantheon will not be stat checking as hard. Oh,
Oh, but
Gabriel
Dota 2
goes
is going
in.
to look for a stat check up here, forcing the flash out, but now Cataclysm into bullet time. Hister puts up the Aegis Assault, but that defense is not going to last forever. Habibi Poppy gets the kill, and Hoptek's even joined up to finish the job on Evan. It is 9 kills already for SRS, and even with the attempted play on top side, all they get is Camper's Flash.
Now they're just suffocating Evan DeBank and Easy Hister now. So this Pantheon falling even further off. And Untitled have just waved the white flag on the bot side. They're only looking on the top side of the map now. There hasn't really been any focus on the bot side, as even though Dota 2's beater, it looks like he's had up now. So completely all the attention gone from the bot side. For you to Envy not able to roam ever now that Silas has control over the mid lane. So if for you to Envy wants to move it all, he has to only move cross map onto the top side, right? Otherwise, Optech will just meet him every time.
Yeah, Hoptech already working his way towards that second item, and has been a solid performer on some of these less, I want to say, control magey picks, right? Where he's playing Galio for utility, playing the Silas. Hasn't been kind of the carry champions too much for Optech, no Rise. Not even like the Ari playmaking, as he's going to get aggressed on in mid. And now they have sent 3 to try to kill off Hoptech, and this one should work out. But it's Easy Hister claiming the 986 gold shutdown.
Well, scratch that, Shiv. This Pantheon will be able to keep up in items for a while, I guess. That, that will finish the Black Cleaver for him, most certainly, and I wonder what he's doing next. But well, okay, first off, I don't even really like the Black Cleaver first too much. Second off, Pantheon especially in this kind of game, you really need to be someone that can threaten a lot of damage right off the bat. You're not too worried about stacking Black Cleaver stacks for your team. Like, who's gonna use it? It's Vi, right? But she's going her own Black Cleaver anyways.
Well, now
Evan the
Evan's
Bank.
going to flash in with some demonic flare on bot side. The camera goes up top side because we have a Starfall to hop over the wall. Camper's going to try to use the Stormbringer for some distance, but Brett and Easiest are on his case. Meanwhile, Jason came to the defense of his bot laner, so it's trading across the map.
Yeah, I mean, I like that Grand Starfall to flash the wall. It's a small little one, but I like it. And Jason the other is still looking mid lane here.
Yeah, and Envy stepped up in a position where he cannot be. Jason, Hoptech, take him out, even get the flash as well.
Has been destroyed.
Yeah, 4010V has to know that he has to hug his top side because the play just happened bot, right? And they continually have to just continue giving up everything in their bot side and looking for this cross map. It did work. They got Camper on duty and they got that turret. So they've opened up the top side, but now this is sole point going over to Silk Road Shaitans.
Yeah, the Herald crash in mid will definitely even out the gold. But Hoptech, he's wanting to fight because he's got Camper on the way, and Jason is here to try to punish. They're going to find the engage onto Evan. No flash on the Swain, and that's going to be a whole lot of pain for Evan. It's Easy Hister falling as well. And they overstay on the mid tower, and they lose 2.
This is rough to see. Untitled really wanted something back for that dragon. And they did get that mid turret, but that's a Herald on 1 HP turret. There's no reason for you to stand around. And they just got completely collapsed on by this Volibear. They didn't respect the class from the top and 40 NV.
Yeah, now he might be caught as he was trying to finish the job. The Make It Rain slow set up an 8th kill for Mr. Tech.
A lot of disrespect being shown from Evan the Bank and 40 to Envy. They should know where the attack is coming from for like the last 10 minutes of this game, and still they're just getting caught off guard.
Absolutely, and with Soul Point on the horizon, things are not going to get too much easier. Not sure how much time Yorick is going to really have to put the pressure in the side lanes when you're being drawn to these fights. And in these outright 5-on-5s, Riftmaker Silas is going to be pretty difficult to take down with no consistent damage from the side of Untitled. As, I mean, Dota 2 is going to be able to make it out from the Make It Rain there. Yeah, I mean, Camper, he's been doing his job. He has soaked up some ganks up top, hasn't given up too much to Bread, and we'll wait to see if that Yorick can really make a difference in this game because the rest of his team is certainly floundering.
Yeah, Yorick is not really the carry force you're looking for, right? Even though this guy is still a little bit ahead of Camper on duty. The gold leads for BB
Oh, a
Poppy
nice
and
never
Hoptech.
move on to Schmiedlock. He's going to use the Pop Blossom to get something. Burns the flash out as well, but Dota 2 able to buffer the ult through the blast plant, and a 2-man scatter finds a second kill. Hister's on the chase. He has flash stun, and he's going to use it right onto Jason. Hoptech's going to try to help get his jungler out to safety, but the ignite is ticking. Jason is not dead just yet until the last punch comes through. And now Hoptech needs to get himself out of here. He's fed, but he's not fed enough for a 1v3. Now it's SRS fighting off more than they can chew.
Say his name, Shiv. Dota 2 is beater. What a great play from this Vi. Buffers the Pop Blossom and then finish and then go straight onto Habibi Poppy. So Habibi Poppy with no flash available drops where he stands and then sets up the scatter of the week for 40 to NV2. So a great CC chain. They're caught unaware in the top side. They thought they were safe, but Dota 2 beater is beater with a great collapse. Schmiedlock disrespecting a little bit. He gets caught first, and that was the domino they needed to knock down everything else.
Yeah, they get a lot of gold onto Dota 2 is beater in that fight, right? And against a comp that is very melee focused, Vi does have good value where she can maybe try to blow up a BB Poppy from the start with the R and then continue to bruise it out with the armor pen with the solid armor shredding she can do against a lot of these melees when she is allowed to actually auto attack them, which isn't going to be too much of a problem against most of these champions.
Now, with that play, the gold is dead even. SRS still sitting on soul points, so a huge threat looming
What?
in about 1 minute. But Ori to Envy might be caught.
Yeah, has the scatter for the distance, so knows when to use that ability. It is a Zeke's convergence for Camper's Volley Bear. We took Ignite to stomp lane, and then we go support items. I'm not going to disagree that the item's not very powerful, but definitely not what I expected out from a Volley Bear. As
Yep.
20
I don't
seconds
know.
till this Infernal Dragon hop tech, forcing a flash out of Envy, steals away the Unleashed Power, drops the ultimate, and finds a solo in the side lanes.
Yeah, and that's 10 seconds before this dragon shift, so that might be Infernal Soul guaranteed to SRS. That's a huge catch. Ori to Envy just dying at the most inconvenient time.
Optech did TP in. He is going to be found out on the side. Does have his ultimate almost back up to be able to steal away the Demonic Ascent again, but his team is in control of the river, and it's going to be a barren attempt from the side of Untitled. They're going to punch this one down best they can. They leave Jason and Camper on the dragon as they try to move up. Optech steals away the Swain ult, and with Schmid and Habibi up here, the Baron attempt fizzles out. Dota's going to look for a play perhaps onto the Silas. He's exhausted. The bird forms are going to get engaged on. The bullet time is nice, but they're not finding any kills. Optech, though, is unkillable. Vi's getting involved, as now with Infernal Soul, is that what they need to turn the fight? It's 3v3 around the top side jungle. Dota is going to be able to blast play away. The Cataclysm gets dropped on top of Bread and Hister. And now Bread has no hope to get out of this one. Jason is looking like jam because he is all over butter. He didn't finish the kill. That line shouldn't have been said, but it's Camper that will be able to clean the job. Jason finally gets back in, and it is a one fight for SRS.
It was pretty close until it wasn't shipped. They got everything onto Hoptech, and it took everything to kill him. So they didn't have anything left in the tank for the rest of the team. I don't know if Hoptech had a shutdown. He only had a 200 gold shutdown, so they sent the whole kitchen sink, the whole delivery truck, and they only got an extra 200 gold for their efforts while the entire rest of the team dropped. Dota 2's beater, the only one left standing. So this Vi, it turned from Yorick being the solo carry, now it's this Vi that is so extremely strong. No Guardian Angel done yet, while Jason the other already has a second item, or third item, sorry, in that Frozen Heart.
Yeah, now they have another play onto Easy Hister. He's got no chance of escape, even burns the flash. Pantheon definitely not having the performance you would like. They were able to be aggressive in lane, but it has fallen apart since. And now on to the Baron goes SRS with seemingly little response.
Yeah, this Pantheon is actually a large amount of damage that Untitled need. So
Yeah, but now
this
the engage is going to
Pantheon-
come out 3-man Pop Blossom with the bullet time over top. There is no chance at a contest. There's no chance at escaping the combo. And back to the Baron go the Shaitans.
should just be Baron now, unless some heroics from Dutch's beater. But he's just running to his bot side. A dead even game 5 minutes ago with one pick on For You to Envy, transitioned into the Infernal Soul, transitioned into a one fight, and now the Baron 5k gold lead for SRS as they continue to knock down the rest of the standing gold on the map.
And it's slowly slipping away for Untitled. The undefeated Swiss stage is not going to look all too great if you can't make it into finals. As Jason is going to go aggressive onto Hister, and he does not have much to do. Puts up the Aegis to try to get some defense. Red even TPing in. But against Baron, against Infernal Soul, it's going to need a miracle for a comeback here from Untitled.
Yeah, miracle is a little bit of an understatement. Yeah, they're only 5K gold down, which is not the end of the world, but if you could add in the Infernal Soul on top of that, Infernal or Souls usually add about 6K worth of stats, right? So you can look at this as about an 11K gold lead. So things are pretty rough. The teleport in from Hoptech and Cataclysm.
Yeah, now Pop Blossom is going to be dropped onto 2. There's nothing they can do against Jason and Hop Tech just running them down. Another death for the Pantheon. Bread is down again. And with just 3 members and not a whole lot of wave clear, I mean, across the team, it's going to be a pretty deadly Baron push.
Yeah, what you just saw, Shiv, is what happened pretty much the entire game for you to Envy has the blast code to save him. Luckily this time, but for the past 10 minutes, it feels like uh Untitled just getting engaged on mid.
Yeah, now they full send it onto the Swain. Envy trying to combo down Habibi, but he can't even do that. The Flash Demon Flare from Hoptech doesn't find the kill, but it forces Envy back. They're able to get the mid tower, and it is the Shaitans on the road to grand finals. Now 7K gold in the front.
This is pretty rough to see for Entitled, man. They had such a dominant performance in the regular season, but playoffs is where everything matters and where real champions wake up. And it seems, unfortunately, the Hoptech has awoken from his old man slumber, and he has just been running this whole game from start to finish. Everything has just been this Silas.
Absolutely. And I mean, Habibi and Schmid, after getting kind of wrecked in lane, have been able to still claw it back. They've had good combos in these fights to still find their advantages, despite being behind in that early game. And now 40 seconds till the Elder. This is not where Untitled wants to be. Yorick is sticking in the sides for now because the 5-on-5 has not looked good, and I don't think it's going to look much better. 3 items on Misfortune, 3 items on Silas. Camper is able to respond to the Yorick push, and now they may just engage in mid. Dota 2 getting peppered by Habibi autos.
This MF is nothing to scoff at now either. It's just the other tries to poke him for the engage. Level 16 on this J4. Level 17 for Camper on duty, even ahead of Bread is Very Yummy now at this point. And no way to go into this bot side river for Untitled.
Yeah, Bread is going to try to duke it out with Camper, but Jason is here by his side. Dota going to engage actually on the Vive, flashing after the Cataclysm, but here comes the Pop Blossom onto 3, and now Hoptech's going to soar to victory with the stolen Ascension. It's Dota 2 slain. It's Envy and Easy Hister and Bread trying to defend out. Hoptech's going to look for another abduct. It doesn't connect. Envy has enough space, but he doesn't have enough to deal with the team. Oh, 13 kill Silas in a statement game from SRS. They're in onto the Nexus Towers. They're disabled by Camper. Hister has nothing to do. And the road to grand finals is there for the Silk Road Shaitans.
The Silk Road to the finals. And it's all Hoptech, baby. This guy is so back. He might have been sleeping a little bit in regular split, but still, they cannot disrespect this guy in the slightest. They gave him counter pick, and he made everything happen from start to finish. The Silas solo killing in mid, teleporting to bot, killing mid again, killing top right before dragon, teleporting behind in mid. Just so proactive, finding every single second of the game and using it to his advantage. This is exactly what you want out of a mid laner.
Yeah, was more than willing to get onto the map, make those plays for the team. Been kind of what Hoptech has always done, whether it's Galio, whether it's Leo, whether it's Silas, in making sure that his team is eating good. And with that, Untitled is going to fall out, so that'll be the last we see of Bread is Very Yummy, Dota 2 is beater for you to Envy, Evan the Bank, and easy hitter. Definitely looked like the favorites throughout this tournament, but was not meant to be here in semifinals as their journey ends. With that, we have one of our teams booked for semifinals with SRS going to be a participant. Still have to round out the other side of the bracket later today at 9 p.m. EST. We'll have Hank Whittleberg facing off against the big back Chuds to see who will face off against the Soy Kittle Predator Slayers. And I will say, I do not want an SPS versus SRS um, finals that will kind of melt my brain, at least casting wise. But we'll see. Still plenty of league to play to see who will be in the finals against the Silk Road Shaitans. Any final words, Mr. Prone?
All I can say is this is rigged. TS is rigged, bro. uh Shaitan's to finals. Who would have thought? Who would have thought? But yeah, it seems that they've just fully woken up. Their top side has always been scary, and now with the full potential unlocked from Jason the Other and Hop Tech, they have really just been scaling. And Habibi and Schmidlock, silent killers. They're not smashing lane, they're not dominating the whole map, but they're always doing what they need to do. Yeah, Schmidlock caught out a little bit, but hey, he was just getting vision for his team, right? So this team really scary. And now both these teams stylistically, I really thought that these two teams were very, very similar in their styles. A lot of power in the top side for both teams, and bot side just holding up and doing exactly what they needed. So it seems like a pretty relatively even matchup, but in the end, the old man comes out on top. So excited for how finals goes.
Yeah, we will be waiting to see who faces them off on the other side of the bracket. But for now, that'll be it for us today. Hopefully, my OBS doesn't have an encoding error on next stream, but we will see you then.